Just looking around, Cheptai is one of the most degraded forest areas. To be honest, you will find more trees in some compounds than in this as a gazetted forest. So there's some urgency. But Cheptai is also an area which is critical to water catchment for our country and for hydroelectricity generation. It feeds into the Takwe River, which eventually goes to Takwe Dam. Part of this engagement is part of a bigger collaboration with partners like Njenga, who are seeking to rehabilitate hydroelectricity assets around the country. To be sustainable, the community needs to own. And here in Cheptai, we've partnered with the local CFA, who have provided seedlings, labor for pitting, transportation, and actually the aftercare after planting, because it goes beyond planting. You actually need to ensure that the trees grow and survive and ultimately become carbon sinks for the country, as well as the water catchment mentioned earlier. So that's our call to the communities to own it. The forest has direct socio-economic benefit to them in the short term through provision of labor and seedlings, but in the long term, this is part of what will feed to the economic activities in future. The women have been very involved in this activity. I'm sure later on we'll be engaging with the CFA, and the CFA is made of 3,000 members, of which 1,700 are actually women. So women may not be too visible today, I think, because it's a bit early, because women have other chores they take care of for families, but they're very involved. We're also delighted to see the youth, the young men and young women, getting involved in economic activity. Some of them own nurseries where we get some of the seedlings. Some of them have the energy to provide labor. We've done fencing. All this has engaged the local communities. So it's a community activity. Again, sustainability only happens if we all come together, not just corporate organizations and government, but the local people, the local communities, the youth and the women. The challenge for us is just to learn from what we've done wrong in the past and use it to say, how do we ensure we protect these forests? These forests are not necessarily going to grow to maturity maybe in the lifetime of some of the folks around here. If you are like me, with almost 60 years, this forest will serve our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren. The habitat is for future generations to have a better life. So the challenge for the community is let's think beyond ourselves. Let's think beyond our time. Let's think more into the future. We've seen the effects of climate change. The country has just come off one of the most severe droughts that we've experienced. And we are guilty. We are collectively guilty about why this has happened globally. So it's our challenge to take a part in restoration, rehabilitation, and finding more creative ways of supporting economic needs. Because at the end of the day, the deforestation is not because of malice. The deforestation has come as a result of livelihood. So also challenging leadership. How do we stimulate ourselves and our society towards more sustainable economic activities that support, yes, our needs, but also ensure that the climate change effects are reversed. The time we live in today, climate change is one of the most topical and urgent matters that every organization, every country, every individual must address themselves to. So reforestation for us is one of those critical things that we need to respond to ensure that we can reclaim our forests, we can reclaim our rivers, we can reclaim our habitats for the betterment of the universe.